Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
ABC News Radio, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Jim Ryan. How do you hear me?
We have you loud and clear. How us?
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, Tracy, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It's been a very happy one.
I'm sure it has. When I look back at history, Buzz Aldrin was 39 years old when he walked on the moon. It seems as though when you look at the bios of people who are headed into space, now age really is not an issue. And you're not old, certainly, but we're all older than Buzz Aldrin was. Is it an issue? Is it a factor?
You mean for Buzz or for any of us?
For any of us. For astronauts in 2024, is age a factor? Is it an issue?
I don't think so, one bit. Young and old, space, though for the very old, could be a bit challenging. But John Glenn, being the oldest astronaut, went to space when I believe he was 77 years old. So some of us have a long way to go still.
When I look at your bio, Tracy, and see your life beyond your work as an astronaut, learning Russian, learning sign language, and when you talk to young people especially, how important is it they be well-rounded? Yes, they know about STEM issues and about that, but they also have other interests as well. Is that important?
I definitely think having outside interests are important. It's kind of an expression of who you are, and I think you're the best you when you're doing things that you really enjoy doing. So if that involves, speaking and learning different languages, then that's a great way to express that.
And tell me about the experiments you're involved in. I understand, Tracy, you're doing some work with fire and how fire acts in a weightless situation.
Well, I've worked on a number of investigations up here as the hands-on person. There have been a number of combustion and flame experiments. I've worked inside, most recently inside the Japanese module, working on combustion, looking at different materials to see how they respond to different conditions that promote combustion. And but I'm really just the hands-on person putting it all together in space. The real brains are on the ground who have dreamed up these experiments, and their curiosity is what is fueling us up here to put these things together.
Fantastic. Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing tremendous. How are you?
I'm great. I've seen some of the images that you've taken, some of the pictures that you've taken during your time in space. And by the way, Ernesto now has become a hurricane within the last 20 or 30 minutes. It's bumped up from tropical storm. And I've seen your images of previous storms like this. Tell me about that, how you've transferred your interest in photography into your work on the ISS.
Oh, man, so many things to talk about here. My dad was a photographer, and so I remember seeing him take pictures growing up and talk about it passionately in his career in photography. And then, I dabbled a little bit, but coming up here and that first look out the window, how could you not want to take pictures and try and share that with the rest of humanity, everything you can see from up here? And I spent a fair bit of time trying to capture what I can see with my eye. I've not been able to achieve it yet, but there's just so many different colors and the depth of exposure and things that you can try and do to try and share what we see and share with humanity. So a deep drive to share, and then just try to figure out, also the technical side. I'm a huge nerd, and I really enjoy dabbling with it. Tracy's laughing at me because it's true. Am I a nerd?
You're a total nerd.
Yep, it's official. Just dabbling with the really technical, advanced camera equipment. I got a whole wall of camera equipment. I got a new lens we've been playing with over here the past couple days. So I love it. It's a mixture of so many things that I love.
And I saw your pictures of the aurora borealis, and it was just fascinating. Is there one image that you will blow up and turn into a poster when you get back home?
I'm only going to pick one. Only one image. Only one image I'm going to print out of the 250,000 I've taken so far. Oh man, so many images. Yeah, I mean the picture I took of Hurricane Beryl. That was interesting. I remember taking that picture and then going, "Oh man, that's a big one." And then racing through the lab and going in and into our crew quarters and calling my wife and said, "Hey, that's kind of a big one. Come, we better get stuff picked up at the house." And it ended up taking down our fence and part of our roof. So maybe that picture, that's a memorable picture. Hey, I'm in space. I see it coming. Run, wife and kids. There's a lot of pictures I've taken that I want to share, of course, and print out.
For both of you, as we prepare to deorbit the International Space Station, what will be the legacy of that machine, of that achievement? And for you personally, what does it mean to have been aboard there, knowing that it'll soon be gone?
Oh wow! I mean, there's so many things that this International Space Station has done, but I think it's really captured in the first word, and that's international. So many people have crossed seemingly insurmountable divides to come together to build this space station. Nations around the world work together every single day to keep it going. We've had continuous human presence for 20 years. Out of frame, you can't see. I got my Russian crewmate here with me. He's working with Butch Wilmore together on the space station, keeping this going. So I think the big legacy is look what humanity can do when they come together and work together.
Thoughts from you, Tracy?
And I think just to expand a little bit on what Matt was saying, that I think the legacy of the space station is going to be its unity. From day one, we've been building the space station together with our Russian colleagues and the rest of our international partners. And then once we put it all together, we stayed together, and we have begun a new frontier in science and technology by using this space station, and not just by one nation, by multiple nations. And so it's no surprise that as we orbit this beautiful planet, that the work that we're doing here on board the International Space Station is really a representation of our planet. And if that doesn't kind of bring a legacy of unity, then I don't know what does. And so for me personally, it's been a legacy of teamwork, and to be a part of that is a blessing and something that I cherish my whole life.
For the both of you, you just mentioned Butch, and I think he just flew by there. Should we be worried about your food supply, your water, and the rest of it? I mean, they've extended their stay well beyond what it was supposed to be. Should we be concerned about supply? Oh, there he is.
That was hilarious. We had one Butch Wilmore executing his out-of-control flight procedures as he went creating through the laboratory. No, we're not worried about food. We got plenty of food and drink to eat up here. We are well supplied with lots of cargo vehicles. We just got one. In fact, you see giant CTBs behind me. Cargo transfer bags is what we mean by CTB, full of food. We're good. We're good. And we reprocess, 96% of our water, something like that? High 90s. So we're set, sir.
Wonderful. I really appreciate your time today.
Same. Glad to give a chat with you.
Likewise. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for everything.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from ABC News Radio. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communication.